What is going on there, YouTube? And welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from Marvel, DC, and even IDW as well. Now we are going to continue our coverage over the Ultimate Marvel Universe, and this time we are going to pick up with Ultimate Comics Avengers Volume 1. This is the story where we finally get the one character that people have been wondering about ever since they first gave us Ultimate Captain America. We also get a look at the first Avengers team in this universe. And so if you like today's comic book video, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe to my channel for more content to come in the near future. But I do hope you enjoy today's video. So to begin this story, we pick up with Nick Fury meeting up with Hawkeye. And this is our first time picking up with some of the Ultimates besides Iron Man after Ultimatum. Now remember that Nick Fury was kicked out of S.H.I.E.L.D. and was left behind in the Squadron Supreme dimension. And you can watch the Ultimate Power video to understand what happened there. Except we pick up with Nick Fury meeting up with Hawkeye and seeing what S.H.I.E.L.D. has become since Carol Danvers has taken over S.H.I.E.L.D. Remember, in this universe, Carol Danvers is not Miss Marvel nor Captain Marvel. Except the reason why Hawkeye called up Nick Fury because Hawkeye wants to tell Nick Fury that Captain America knows about the Red Skull. And the story jumps back a day and we pick up with Captain America, Hawkeye helping S.H.I.E.L.D. with the mission, where they are going after A.I.M, which is also known as Advanced Idea Mechanics, a group whose main goal is to steal a bunch of advanced level technology from around the world. And we come to find out that right now they are trying to steal technology from the Baxter building since the Fantastic Four are technically no more. And so you have Captain America and Hawkeye here to stop them, and they were supposed to be working with Iron Man, except we come to find out that Iron Man has become an alcoholic. Well, he already was, except now he is drinking more than he used to because of the death of Wolverine. Remember that in Ultimatum, Wolverine died, but Magneto made Cyclops and Iron Man use their forms of weapons to kill Wolverine. Since then, it has been messing with Iron Man's mind. But getting back over to the main point of this story, we see that A.I.M is trying to steal tech and Captain America and Hawkeye are here. Except that is when Captain America gets into one of the helicopters and runs into the Red Skull. And this is our first appearance of the Red Skull in this universe. Something people were wondering, when in the world would we get the Red Skull in the Ultimate Marvel Universe? And this leads to the Red Skull beating down on Captain America, which is different to see because the Red Skull was not really a fighter in the main Marvel Universe. He was more of a strategist, and he was the brains behind a lot of big things that happen in the main Marvel Universe. But here he is, a fighter, and he beats down on Captain America like no other. And then he pulls in Captain America to tell him a secret. And after he tells Captain America the secret, he pushes Captain America out of the helicopter and leaves. Now, of course, Hawkeye is able to pull off some crazy moves to save Captain America before he crashes to his death. Where this is the biggest moment of the book. Well, one of them, because Mark Millar does a lot of things in this book. But this is where we learn that Red Skull told Captain America that apparently the Red Skull in this universe is the son of Captain America. This is where the story shifts back to 1945, with Captain America putting on his outfit and spending some time with Gale. As you know, Gale was Captain America's lover before he was frozen in time back in World War II. Where we see that the last night they saw each other, they spent that night doing the dirty. Where of course we know what this means for Gale after that night, because the story does shift over 4 months later, where Gail is meeting up with the people from the government who tells her that she is pregnant. And they figure out that the son of Captain America, which is the Red Skull, has the super soldier serum inside of him as well, and they took the baby from her. The story goes to the present day, but maybe a couple hours before Hawkeye and Nick Fury conversation, where we pick up with Captain America and Hawkeye flying back home after their failed mission, where out of nowhere you have Captain America start beating down on some of the SHIELD agents and Hawkeye to escape, because now he wants to know more about the Red Skull. The Red Skull is a son he never knew about, and now he wants to know. And so Captain America leaves, and that is it for Captain America for now. This is where the story shifts over to the present moment, where we pick up with Carol Danvers, Hawkeye, and Nick Fury having a conversation, because Hawkeye and Nick Fury knew about the Red Skull. Carol Danvers did not, which honestly is surprising since now she's the main person in charge of SHIELD. But it shows that Nick Fury has secrets all over the place. But explains that basically after Captain America died, or supposedly died, the government took the baby of Captain America to test him to see if the Red Skull actually has any traces of the super soldier serum inside of him. Where of course it shows that he does. And this begins the downfall for everything, because we learned that the army was training him, and he was actually just using them to help him get physically fit and learn about fighting, to the point he was ready to leave the facility they had him locked up in. And we learned he was a tactical genius, because he killed over 100 soldiers after he decided that he had enough of being their puppet. And you have Nick Fury tell us that before he left, he cut his skin off to give him the Red Skull face. Now, before the second chapter ends, we actually do get two things happen. The first is that Captain America breaks into one of the computer rooms of SHIELD to look up more information on the Red Skull, and he finds something, and we don't know what he found, but he leaves. Then the chapter closes on us being introduced to another Stark, except we learn that this is the older brother of Tony Stark, Gregory Stark. But before we can learn more about Gregory Stark, the story does shift over to Jim Rhodes, who we know him as War Machine. Now, we have not seen Jim Rhodes since the Ultimate Iron Man 2 storyline. After that story, Marvel really never tried to put him in any present day storylines, and so we had no idea what Jim Rhodes has been up to really until now. We learned that he works for the army, using the War Machine armor for missions and killing people if he has to. That's really it, but we see that he has been called in by Nick Fury and SHIELD, because he has been called in to form the Avengers team. Now the story shifts over to Gregory Stark, and he is being greeted by Hawkeye and Nick Fury, where we learn from Gregory Stark that apparently he feels like that he should have inherited the company and not Tony from their father, and he hates Tony for it. And Gregory also made his own company as well, but Nick Fury tells us that Gregory Stark is smarter than Tony Stark actually, but Nick called Gregory to launch Project Avengers. Then we pick up with Pedro Lescove, who will be the new Wasp. Well, her code name will be the Red Wasp. Now, this is not our first time meeting her, because she was in Ultimates 2, where she was helping the evil organization called the Liberators, villains from different countries. Now, her code name was Swarm, where she had the ability to control insects. Well, in Ultimates 2, it seemed that she was killed by the original Wasp, but we come to find out that she lived. SHIELD took her body in and were able to save her life, but she has a chip where she has to obey SHIELD's orders, but she's going to join the new Avengers team. Now getting back over to Gregory Stark, we see him taking Nick Fury and Hawkeye to a lower level where we see that Gregory has been working on different projects for this Avengers team. For example, we see that he made a clone of the Hulk, where this Hulk will still have the strength of the Hulk but the intelligence of Bruce Banner, and codename will be Nerd Hulk. But before we leave this place, we see a character locked up in a container who is in a Spider-Man outfit, and his code name is the Spider, and we have no idea who this is. But we pick up with the Avengers team out on their first mission together. We see them getting ready to capture Captain America. Now we learn that there was another member added to the team. This is the new Black Widow, Monica Chang, and we are going to learn more about her very soon. But we know that she used to date Nick Fury. But the point is that while the team is trying to get ready to take down Captain America, that is when we learn that Captain America was prepared for them and surprise attacked them and began the process to take each member of this team out. Now, they did not send in Nerd Hulk nor the Spider because the Spider is too dangerous, but we see Captain America take out Red Wasp, Hawkeye, and the new Black Widow in a matter of seconds. And so you have S.H.I.E.L.D. send in their first big gun, which is War Machine. And this leads to a funny scene where Captain America thinks Jim Rhodes is just a random dude until he changes into his War Machine outfit. And so we get War Machine versus Captain America in this section right here. Now, War Machine is not someone who is really concerned about innocent bystanders. If he has a mission, he will go out of his way to complete his mission. Now, Captain America knows this, but he knows that Jim Rhodes is not a complete heartless person. And so you have Captain America go to a school that is full of kindergarten kids. And War Machine can't fire a single missile because he could possibly kill an innocent child. And so you have Captain America take him out very quickly, and that is it for War Machine for now. But we then see the new Black Widow try her hand one more time against Captain America, where it ends up with her thinking she has the edge. Except Captain America took one of the arms of War Machine to use it against the Black Widow. And so Black Widow is taken out in a matter of a few pages a second time around. And so finally you have Nerd Hulk step in, the last big gun for this Avengers team. And this newly formed Hulk should be able to take down Captain America. Except you have Captain America point out that with them combining the two sides of the Hulk, they took away the edge the Hulk had, because the brain of Bruce Banner would always be going to hold the Hulk side back from letting loose. And so the Hulk gets taken out by Captain America. Now it does seem like this Avengers team is about to lose to Captain America, except you have Black Widow use the shield tech that is inside the Red Wasp to control her powers, which again is to control insects, and then leads to Captain America falling into the river, which is the perfect setup for War Machine to send a shock into the river to knock out Captain America, and now he is captured. Now this new Avengers team has another mission they must complete, which is to go after A.I.M and the Red Skull, because we learned that A.I.M did not steal technology from the Baxter building earlier in the book, except they stole the blueprints to how to build the Cosmic Cube. Remember that in this universe, Reed Richards was the one who made the Cosmic Cube. With that being said, when you have an evil organization that has a group of intelligent people, they can figure out how to make the cube. And so now the Avengers have to chase down A.I.M. This is where things get crazier, because we then jump over to the Red Skull when he is checking up to see how the process of the cube is coming, and they tell him how the Cosmic Cube is almost done. Except this is the moment where we learn that someone hired the Red Skull to come out of retirement, and that is very important. But we see that the Red Skull kills off the lead person in charge of making the Cosmic Cube, and we learn his goal is to take the Cosmic Cube for himself, which is honestly a very dangerous thing. And we know that since the Red Skull in the main Marvel universe used his cosmic cube for a lot of crazy things. Now we do learn a little bit about how the Red Skull affected the Red Wasp's life, but with the YouTube borderline rules on things, I don't know if I can show it. But long story short, Red Skull killed her family. Now you have Nick Fury tell us that the Red Skull was born in the 1940s, and so in the 1960s, he was in his 20s. And one of the Red Skull's biggest moments was when he assassinated JF Kennedy. But getting back to the main point of the story, some time has passed and the new Avengers team has arrived in Alaska, and that is where the base of A.I.M is at, and so they are here to get the cube. Except this is where things get a little bit crazy, because when the Avengers team get closer to the base, they find a pile of dead bodies on the ground, that someone killed every single member of A.I.M on this base. And when Hawkeye asks who in the world did all this, of course you have the Red Skull walk in and claim his work. Now when the Red Skull revealed himself, you have the team just unload all their bullets on the Red Skull to just quickly get rid of him, except none of the bullets worked on him. And then the whole building blows up, but the Avengers team was teleported out of the base before it blew up. And this is where we learn that the Red Skull is using the Cosmic Cube. That where the Avengers team thought they had more time before the Cosmic Cube would be done, they miscalculated the time when the Red Skull will be done with the Cosmic Cube. And so now we have our second Cosmic Cube in this universe. And this is huge because right now it is in the hands of the Red Skull. And so you have the Avengers really trying to take down the Red Skull. And this team was not around when the original Cosmic Cube was around when Thanos had it. Some members were there and they were being mind controlled by Thanos, but none of them helped the Fantastic Four take down Thanos when he had the Cosmic Cube. And so they have no idea how powerful the Cosmic Cube is until right now. And so they're throwing their bullets, their missiles, and anything else they can throw at the Red Skull. But of course, nothing is working because this is the Red Skull with the Cosmic Cube now. Now, picking up with Captain America, we learned that the Avengers team left him to be watched by a bunch of regular level folks who work for S.H.I.E.L.D. in France. And we learned that Captain America wanted to be captured by the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. The reason why is because he knew that sooner or later the Avengers team would go after the Red Skull themselves. And so he placed some nanotech robots that can be traced all over the Avengers. And so you have Captain America beat down on these S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and get ready to go after his son, because he now knows where his son is located at. Honestly, this is one of my favorite moments of the book, because you have Captain America about to get ready to get into a new developed jet, a jet that has not been tested out yet, but can get him from France to Alaska in a matter of minutes. And Nick Fury is trying to talk Captain America out of going after his son, where you have Captain America ask permission to speak and tells Nick Fury to shut up, and he flies away. But getting back over to the Avengers, they are trying their best to stop the Red Skull, and they are trying to throw everything at him, but of course it is not working. Now, you do have Gregory Stark come in and say, listen Nick, it's time to use our secret weapon. And we come to find out that apparently Jim Rhodes has a nuke in the back of his armor. And so their idea right now is to go ahead and hit the button and use the nuke. Now, Nick Fury does not want to use the nuke at all. He's kind of like, listen, we can find another way around this. But while the Avengers are fighting against the Red Skull, you still have Captain America in that new developed jet flying his way from France to Alaska, and he is almost there. He's probably like 3 to 4 minutes away, and he tells Nick Fury, do not press that button, I'll be there soon. Now, this does lead into another cool moment of the book, because you do have Nerd Hulk finally step in, because all of the other members of the Avengers were yelling at him to step in because he has the strength of the Hulk. Yes, he does have the brains of Bruce Banner, but he still has the strength of the Hulk. And so to the other members of the Avengers, they're telling him, dude, can you please help us out? And so you do have Nerd Hulk step in. Now, this leads into one of the coolest moments of the book because you see Nerd Hulk kind of get a little bit more savage like, where the Bruce Banner side is slowly going away and he's getting stronger and stronger. And it does seem like he'll be able to stop the Red Skull. But of course, the Red Skull has the Cosmic Cube. And so he was just playing around with the Hulk and he throws the Hulk away. And he tells the Avengers, listen, that was cool and all, but I was playing around. You then proceed to the Red Skull telling the Avengers that he knew about the nuke that was in the back part of War Machine's armor. And so you have him get rid of that nuke. And for the Avengers, they think this is the end for them because that nuke was their last weapon to use against the Red Skull. But out of nowhere, we do see that Captain America was able to get there in time, and his goal is to fly the jet right into the Red Skull. But of course, the Red Skull has the Cosmic Cube, and he was able to push the jet away from him. And so you have Captain America crash the jet somewhere else. And again, it does seem like the end for the Avengers. But you do have Steve Rogers as Hawkeye to give him the exact location of the Red Skull, because Hawkeye never misses and Captain America never loses, because he wants the exact location of the Red Skull. Because while the Red Skull is not looking, Captain America was able to fire one shot from the jet that plunges through the Red Skull body, and the Cosmic Cube falls out of the Red Skull hands, and that is the end of the Red Skull. Now we do pick up a few hours after the battle, where we do pick up with Captain America, Nick Fury, and Gale. And remember, Gale was the ex-lover of Captain America before he presumably died back in World War II. And also the mother of the Red Skull. And so Nick Fury brought her here so she can say goodbye to her son, the son that was taken away from her all those years ago from the American government. Now, once she does leave, you do have Nick Fury ask Red Skull, what did they talk about? And the Red Skull told Nick Fury that he told his mother that his goal with the Cosmic Cube was not to rule the world or anything. His goal was to change time. He wanted to rewrite history because he wanted to say to his mother that his goal was to use the Cosmic Cube to change time to the point where his father never did get frozen in time. Instead, his father did came home and they were able to live a life as a family. That was the one thing he always wanted. But then you have Nick Fury kill off the Red Skull, Nick Fury asked Red Wasp to kill off Red Skull to get revenge for what he did to her family, and the Red Skull is now dead. And to finally wrap up this story, we do pick up with Gregory Stark and Nick Fury, and we come to find out that Carol Danvers did give Nick Fury his own place in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, where he's going to run his little Avengers team from this small base right here. But we do come to find out that Nick Fury was the one who hired the Red Skull to come out of retirement. That really Nick Fury was the one behind all of this, because Nick Fury's goal from this point on is to get his job back, to be the one in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so he did that because he knew that if he brought the Red Skull out, Carol Danvers would have no choice to let Nick Fury use his Avengers project to go after the Red Skull. And so this was just step one of Nick Fury trying to get his old job back. And that is the end of this storyline right here, guys. So If you did like today's comic book video, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'm out of here and I will see you on the next comic book video. Later, guys.